Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by Chinook Ceadery. This is episode 529. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin. I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
How do you do, good people, and my man Casey? How are we?
You want to know my thought of the day?
Just one thought today, huh?
Just a singular thought is all I got for you today. And then we can get out of here. No, it's, have you or anybody else seen the very bizarre Angels narrative on MLB Network that they've been pushing? Am I the only one? Like, is this like a case by case situation?
Could be.
where like, you know, they only push certain commercials on my TV. I see this Angels promo on MLB Network multiple times a day, like multiple times within a game that I'm watching. Have you not seen the promo? It's like clips from MLB Network hosts being like the Angel, like our friend of the pod, Greg Amsinger.
Oh yeah,
is in there. Is like, Angels are going to be the sneaky team of the season or whatever. And it's just Mike Trout. It's just this promo clip. And I'm like, what? And it's the only team that I've seen these promo clips for on MLB Network. I'm like, what is this narrative that we're peddling here?
I have a theory that like we're all like stuck in different MLB TV like loops to where there's like, you know what I'm saying? Like I see the same Zen commercials all the time.
Yup.
Last year was I think it was the Shohei New Balance commercial.
That's like, still pumping. That's still pumping.
Like, but I haven't seen it this year. it never comes up for me now. So like
validating your point. I see it all the time.
Right. We're all just like in these different matrices of MLB TV horrid commercials. The Zen commercials were such a great thing in the beginning, and they have just gone
lost the plot. They lost the plot.
They've lost their fastball. So like the spray paint of the home plate, it's
oh man, that was brilliant. And then they lost the plot. I mean, they started like keying in like walk off audio, and it's like, no, this is not Zen.
We can't. Can we find something in the middle? I don't need you screaming on a walk off, and I don't need absolute manufactured sounds. You know those like sound guys that are like for cartoons that are like creating sounds, and they're like breaking something next to the mic, and it's supposed to simulate
little ASMR action. Oh yeah,
that's 100% what's happening over there.
Correct. Yeah, I'm with you.
Like there's got to be something in between. Just crowd noise.
No,
just give me crowd noise.
No, that's
no, but I'm fine with like quiet crowd noise, which just you hear like vendors going up and down, hot dogs, beer, something. I don't need whatever this is. Rant over.
Look, I'm with you, and this wasn't intended to be a rant. I'm actually wondering where this MLB Network Angels sleeper team narrative is coming from. It's all I see.
It's wild. I haven't caught any of that.
Again, not a complaint, just curiosity.
I did get the Luis Robert commercial quite a bit. Have you gotten that one a bunch?
Luis Robert.
Oh, there more proof. More proof. Dude, I get the Luis Robert, like, you know how it'll have like, it'll give him highlights, and then you'll hear like different takes from different people, then it's just like clipped together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
what you're getting?
Yes, I get Luis Robert.
This is interesting.
And then I get like, what's his name? Robert Flores from MLB Central.
Yep.
And he's like, it's always like, Luis Robert, great nickname, La Bandera. And it's like that clipped with like a Sean Casey like take.
La
and
Bandera.
You're just like, I get like Luis Robert commercials all the time.
This is crazy. All right, so we've stumbled upon a new theory here. People across the country, baseball fans across the country, are getting pushed different campaigns, different narratives on MLB Network. If you're if you're watching MLB TV, okay, I'm gonna dig into this.
If they just mixed it up and I got some of yours and you got some of mine.
I could use some
in
La Bandera over here.
I'm in my own loop all the time.
Okay, I'm gonna dig into this more. I'm gonna try to get some feedback. This is interesting. I mean, I knew like regionally they show like different, like for local businesses. Like I get all that, but like
you got to do that.
They're pushing different narratives on teams and players all over the place, and this is news to me. All right, interesting.
You don't get those player profile ones though, huh?
No, I do,
so, like,
but
player specific ones?
I have not seen Luis Robert. That is interesting. Tell you a guy that I've gotten a time or two before, Ronald Acuña Jr. And he's made headlines over the weekend. And I need to address something in the chat first. Speaking of the Braves, Braves fan in the chat, Andrew asks, "Is that silver in your beard or leftovers from dinner?" I'll have you know, I'll have you know that I kid you not. Today, I literally I Googled because I've seen it with other people and I'm seeing it myself. Why
patch?
Why do the corners of the beard go gray before anything else? Because that's hitting me, and I'm seeing it elsewhere, and I need to get to the bottom. Sort of like our little commercial conundrum that we were just talking about. I need to get to the bottom of why it's happening.
You're gonna get a little Rogaine beard,
little just for men action.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
I had a teammate do that in high school. It's pretty funny. He like couldn't grow a mustache, and it was like barely coming in. And then you got like
two completely different scenarios.
Midnight black one.
Completely different scenarios. Fortunately, I don't have that problem. But anyway, yeah, little gray action.
I like it.
It's fine. It's been addressed.
What does the wife think? That's the only thing that matters.
She probably has feelings about it, but hasn't told me yet. So that's
not a good sign.
Yeah, that's fine.
If they like it, they verbalize it, right? So,
well, speaking of verbalizing, Brian Snicker got put in the hot seat for this Ronald Acuña Jr. accent. What? Why did I say accent? Sorry, I was reading the chat. Just put a bow on this thing. The beard will become gray slowly but surely. Mine's mostly gray now, but not my hair. Good. I'm happy for you, Jason.
At least you have hair, Jason.
Keep that hair.
Yeah.
No, I don't know why I said accent, but incident is what I meant to say. That's what I meant to say. So it was. Well, this was Saturday. Jared Kelenic.
That was Friday.
Saturday. Jared Kelenic pims the ball off the wall, tries to leg it out, plays reviewed.
How was the second?
Called out. The drama, the issue that resulted was Ronald Acuña Jr., who, by the way, isn't even playing at the moment, tweeted out in response to a Mark Bowman tweet that was responding to a user on Twitter who said, "I missed Snit's comment on Kelenic's lack of hustle and getting thrown out at second last night." Mark Bowman, the reporter, said, "He protected Kelenic by replying, 'Was I supposed to?' when asked if he had said anything to Kelenic. He certainly could have said something, seeing how Kelenic's home run trot put him on the dugout side of first base coach's box when the ball hit the wall." To which Ronald Acuña Jr. replied, and later deleted, "If it were me, they would take me out of the game." Which is valid, because if you go back to 2019, August of 2019, Ronald Acuña Jr., similar situation, lack of hustle out of the box, hosed, later taken out of the game by Snicker, who said he didn't run. You've got to run. It's not going to be acceptable here. As a teammate, you're responsible for 24 other guys. The name on the front is a lot more important than the name on the back. All right, Herb Brooks. What is this, miracle? Get out of here. Anyway, completely valid response by Acuña. What's funny, though, is that, and I don't think enough people are really addressing this because they're getting so swept up in like, whoa, like I've seen so many Braves fans, you need to fire Snitker. The guy came out and said that he didn't even see, like, I don't know if he was napping or what, or maybe he's just trying to cover his tracks.
Yeah, what's worse?
Hard to say. Yeah, honestly, truthfully, I don't know. But he said I didn't even see the play. I'm like, my brother, what other? There's only one play going on in front of you, and this is literally your job to watch and manage what's going on in front of you. So again, I don't know if Snicker was trying to play dumb, if he was trying to cover his tracks, or if he legitimately was just caught napping. I mean, he's not a spring chicken, as we know. And that's just yet another reason that a lot of these Braves fans, I think, are calling for his head. I saw some guy on social media. I need to stay off it more. I saw some guy on there say, I've been calling for this guy's head since 2019. I'm like,
You had a ring mixed in there.
there was a ring in there, and he was at the helm. Anyway,
I didn't realize. I mean, is this, look, full transparency? Our fantasy chat, we have what, 4, 5?
too many.
Yeah, way too many. 4 or 5 Braves fans in our fantasy league, and the chat was going off, and it seemed to be a pretty common sentiment shared that they're like ready to move on. And I thought 2-3 years ago, Brian Snitker was like, everyone was like manager of the year every year. Like, that's just what Braves fans were saying.
That's how this goes.
I didn't realize the leash was so short.
How quickly they forget.
I guess. I mean, look, Acuña is not wrong. Obviously, it's happened exactly this way. So it's like, are there different ways to manage different players? Of course. I think for an up and coming superstar, and if you're trying to have a precedent set on hey, you're the leader, everyone's eyes are on you, that this is the player you are, this is the way we want you to play. I get that. The Braves, low key, a lot of people hate on like the Yankee way and hate on like the Yankee tradition. The Braves share very similar ideologies. They don't, you know what I mean? Like there's no backwards hats allowed with the Braves. And this has been something over, the Bobby Cox era and into today. Like there's certain traditions and there's certain unwritten rules that are very much in place with the Braves, similar to what the Yankee culture has gotten, criticized for in the past or currently. But Kelenic should have been pulled. It's just plain and simple. Like I don't understand why the Kelenic leash has been this long. I don't understand why the Braves have put up with this mediocrity for this long. It's not been good performance. It's not been good enough to allow this kind of stuff to happen. In a season that started off so rough, now you have a new narrative, and now you have your manager who's not even nipping it in the bud. Like, this is blown out of proportion, way bigger than it needed to be. All because of a manager's lack of
awareness,
decision-making, staying awake. I don't know.
The other thing too, you got to keep in mind, like to answer your question about the leash. Let's not forget, Jurickson Profar isn't in the mix anymore.
Sure.
So like that was sort of the next step. I think at least the one that didn't require much thinking. Like I mean, we could dig into the system a little bit, but I guess Kelenic is the guy that we just slot in for now.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, the way I saw, I could be an outsider here, obviously not watching every Brave game there is, but like my interpretation of the Kelnick move was a buy low scenario anyway.
Right.
Hey,
yeah, that's
change
fair.
of scenery, wasn't doing his thing in Seattle, top prospect at one point. Like, let's see if we can get something out of him. Now at this point, it's just like, I think we know who he is. I think we've seen what he has to offer. That's besides the point. What I mentioned earlier is that like guys get managed differently. And there could be some type of behind closed doors conversation that the Braves or coaches are having with the way they're going about coaching a Jared Kelnick and saying maybe he doesn't react well to it. Maybe he doesn't, you know what I mean? Like maybe he sits with it. But when it starts to become a story like this, and then you're not holding all your players to the same level of accountability, this is what you're going to get. And the worst case scenario has happened. Your superstar, who you're banking on coming back and saving the day in a way, has a point. He has a point. He's not wrong.
Okay, so then why delete the comment?
Heat from the Braves, heat from a teammate. I don't know. I mean, it is weird. I'm not saying I support the idea of putting that tweet out. I don't like the idea of having my best player saying something on social media about my own team. Like I don't like that, but everyone saw it already. So like it clearly got out. I don't know what the time was between posting and deleting, but maybe that's like a new strategy. By the way,
It is.
Maybe
I was just thinking that because Jazz did the same thing the other day where he's like, it's not effing close on the strike or the ball call or whatever, or what he perceived to be a ball.
Could be internal fines. Maybe that's a thing. Like,
I guess, but guys like that,
teams will find them.
I guess, but guys like Acuña, Jazz, I don't think they really care. Like they have things that they want to say, and they're going to say it, which like to certain people may not matter. Some people it's fine, but like
I hear you.
That seems to be just.
There's potentially a different scenario there where Jazz is talking about an umpire, and then there's league reprimand versus team reprimand with Acuña. That's the only, that's the difference I'm thinking in my head, but.
I think you're right, though. I think that seems to be the new thing now. Because people
get it out long enough to get noticed and then delete it.
Let it circulate, and then you can sort of. I don't, maybe save face isn't the right way to say it, but for lack of a better way of saying it, you sort of save face, like, hey, well, I took it back, whatever. But I got what I wanted to say out there.
One could argue it gets more hype when it gets deleted. It seems that way. It seems like it sparks more of a conversation when it gets later deleted.
The since deleted post that I keep seeing. Yeah,
because it's like the original post and then the like that caption always does it, but it's not a good scenario. Like I was saying, it's a rough start to the season. You have a guy go down with suspension. You're waiting for Strider to come back. He gets put back on the shelf after one start. You're waiting for your MVP candidate to come back. But while he's working on coming back, he's ruffling feathers with social media comments. Like, this is worst case scenario. And I'm here to ask, like, are the wheels falling off? That's a legitimate question. I know it's April, but it's not yet May. And I just listed a laundry list of reasons why it may be time to make a move at the helm. And a lot of teams a lot of people are having this team as a division winner.
Well, they have won 4 straight. So, I mean.
Barely snuck it out tonight, by the way.
Well, a win's a win.
Bryce Iglesias tried everything he could to cough it up. But
you and I both know that a win's a win at the end of the day. So I'm not gonna freak out there. Like, even despite all the things that are going on, if you're finding a way to win ball games, winning.
All.
I was gonna say winning has a way of curing these things. But last thing I'll say on the Kelnick thing, because I don't want to portray this idea that like we're letting him off. Be better. Like, go ahead, call me an old man, call me like whatever. Like, dude should be able to pimp ball. Like, sure, but make sure that it's out. You're Jared Kelnick. Like, and again, Jared Kelnick, you're light years ahead of me in terms of baseball skill. But are you a Ronald Acuña Jr.? Are you a Juan Soto? No. Are you an Aaron Judge? That's have some awareness.
Super relevant argument right there. Because like teams and coaches will put up with certain things if you can bring that kind of talent that often. Jared Kelnick does not bring it nearly often enough to have antics like this. I 1,000% agree.
It's just crazy.
Agree. And don't tell me that he's the future, because Verdugo was brought in because of no trust in this kid. Braves are in a weird spot, man.
And I think Verdugo's already had a 4-hit game. I saw he didn't have one of those with the Yankees last year.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But thanks, Verdugo. Appreciate you.
The last thing I'll say, it's just like oh my gosh, the payoff for these pimped balls that barely scrape the wall.
I hate it.
The payout is so minimal, like sick. It looks awesome for a clip on social, but the downside, if it happens like this, and this isn't the first time that it's happened in the league or the sport, is that you're going to get hosed at second. You're going to look like an idiot. You're going to get called out by people. You're going to start internal drama the way they're seeing it play out now. Just, even a light jog would probably benefit more than just thinking you got all of it and it hits the top of the wall. Just a thought. And again, call me an old head, whatever. It's just
but that's true. Like these guys,
these are just issues that can be avoided. That's all I'm saying.
All the time. They hit so many baseballs every day. They know what it feels like when they get it. They know. So that's why this speaks even worse, because it's like, you didn't get all of it. And even if you want that post on social media, all the comments are going to be like, bro, barely got out. And you're pimping it like you walked it off in game 7. Ugh. Last story here, and make fun of me for being a Yankee homer or whatever, but like,
dude, you're a Yankee homer. Come on.
There's a story of, and Jeter tells it all the time, where he is on second, goes to steal third, and he gets thrown out, and it's the first out of the inning. And he's running back to the dugout, and all he does is just go sit next to Joe Torre. Because he was like, I know that I was going to get chewed out. So I just went and sat next to him. And Joe didn't say anything. A couple minutes goes by, and he looks at me, and he goes, I know. I get it. And that was it. Jeter says, I won't do it again. Like I understand letting players play. I understand letting the game being fun. I get that. I'm not trying to remove fun from the game. But if there's not that level of authority in the dugout from your manager, if there's not a small little sliver of respect and fear that has to be in place with authoritative figures, this is the kind of stuff that's going to happen. And you can be a player's coach. You can have all that. But at a certain point, there has to be a line drawn. And you see less and less and less and less of that. And shame on Brian Snitker, because that's the whole argument of having an older coach. And we see the drastic opposite of a Ron Washington saying no phones in the clubhouse. Make fun of him all you want, but he's at least drawing that line. It's strange.
Which, by the way, I don't know if you've seen anything on that. I saw something today. Apparently, they're buying into it. I don't know.
Shame on our generations to just absolutely talk so much trash towards older generations that have had that have forgotten more about baseball than we'll ever know. Like it's a shame. It really is. I'm done. We can move on. I have other rants to give, by the way, because these next few topics are
Love that.
pissing me off a little bit.
Let's talk about that very thing. Max Fried loses a no-hitter after they retroactively change an error to a hit in. At what point in the game did it happen? I mean, I know he made it 7 2/3, but
it was bottom
this
six.
was okay. And then
Bottom six is when the error / hit occurred.
And then it was changed
In the eighth,
which is when he was pulled anyway.
So for those unfamiliar, Max Fried was dicing, playing in Tampa,
Well, he had a no-hitter going, yeah.
and new speed phenom Chandler Simpson rolls over a ball to Goldschmidt. I'm in the camp that he would have beat it out just because he has insane speed.
He's got Max beat to the bag.
Yeah, for sure.
He had him.
Now,
beat
to be
the bag.
fair, for anyone that watched the game, he hit the same ball his last at bat, and Max Fried beat him to the bag. Crazy athlete, Max Fried. He beat him to the bag on that same exact scenario. Fast forward to this, Goldie clanks it off the wrist, gets called an error in the 6th inning. No hit bid still intact. Max finishes the 6th, finishes the 7th. Before coming out for the 8th, no announcement, nothing said. You just see a little 1 tally in the hit column as he's coming back out to the mound in between innings to warm up. Now, he does give up another hit. The argument is who knows? He was calling his own game, but does Austin Wells see that? Does he change his approach now that the hit has been given up? Does coaching see it? Is there a different, you know what I'm saying? There's all those different things being brought about. My issue, it's not the fact that it was switched to a hit. I just told you, I'm in the camp. I think Chandler Simpson would have beat that out. Goldie was pretty far off the bag. Simpson can move. I think he beats it out. I think it's a hit. I said when it happened that it should have been called a hit anyway. Appreciate that. Thank you. My issue is with this changing 2 innings later. My issue is that your official scorer at home, for those unaware, the home scorer is the official scorer for games. So if it's at Tampa Bay Rays, it is the Tampa Bay Rays scorer that is the official scorer for the game.
Which is wild when you consider where they're playing at this point in time. But
Which is wild.
just kind of weird. Just weird.
I don't understand this. I don't understand the time. Because it's very obvious why it got changed. If you're allowing that much time to pass before you change it, I can understand same inning. I can understand the next half. I can understand that. You and I have watched games where it gets changed pretty quickly.
I was gonna ask you because I saw Michael
That's
Kay went into a little bit of a fit over this, and I'm like, I mean, if you want to, which maybe he was, but if you want to get nitpicky over the length of time, okay, sure, let's have a conversation about it. But to act like calls don't get retroactively changed,
it happens all the time.
Somewhat, I mean, given the issue, somewhat frequently, it
happens. I bet it happens more often than you hear broadcasters even mention it. Now, a lot of broadcasters keep score. They keep book when they're in the booth. So that's sometimes why you will hear that, because they'll reference that and then They make jokes about whiteout and their scorebook is ruined, whatever. My issue is just the time that it was changed, the length of time that passed, the time that it was changed, they hadn't gotten a hit yet. You're affecting decisions at that point. You're affecting, like, when guys are going for no hitters, pitch count is almost always in play here. Bullpen arms, like there's a ripple effect to this that we can't just sit here and say, oh, it would have been a hit anyway. There's more to it. I'm not even arguing that. It's just the fact that they changed it 2 innings later, didn't announce it, and it's kind of soft in my opinion. But that's the Tampa Bay Rays.
I just did a little trivia. Oh, little
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Sorry, I processed that a little late because I was looking up some trivia, but
Thought I'd sneak it in there.
Taking a chance to pull some shots
man.
at the Rays.
Soft.
Well, we could go into that, but I won't. You mentioned pitch count always being in play for these no hitters more often than not. I was curious. Had this thought real fast. What was the fewest amount of pitches thrown in a no hitter? 83.
I was gonna say 89
by Darryl Kyle for the Astros in 1993 against
Darryl Kyle,
the amazing Mets. Love that.
Just weird stuff, man. It's a weird thing. And weird baseball stuff happens all the time. And that's why we love it, because there's weird things. Like we genuinely see something new every year. Every season we see something we're like, I can't remember ever noticing or seeing that or hearing that, witnessing that, whatever it is. And it's cool until your team, gets bit by it. I'm just glad he did end up giving up another hit and it's not like fully in question. You know what I mean?
Another incident with your beloved Yankees, Aaron Judge's home run call getting pulled back. It was never. Yeah, I was gonna say it was actually never a home run to begin with, but you get what I'm saying.
Called foul in the field.
Challenged
it, stayed foul.
Speaking of trivia, did a little trivia research myself today because I was curious because I didn't know, and I was like, this might be helpful to know. You know that the average minor league foul pole, you know what the height is?
I'll give you 30 feet.
30 feet exactly. That's the average. You know what the average height of an MLB foul pole is?
I'll give you 45.
I'm thinking you already knew the answer.
I really didn't. Is it 45?
I'm thinking you know the answers to these questions.
No, I was thinking in reference of the monster, honestly. That's
I don't know if let me backtrack a little bit. I said average. Maybe that's not the right word to use, but in terms of what's preferred by those respective levels, I found that 30 feet is what you kind of need at the minor league level, and 45 is sort of the standard for major league parks. Whether it's the actual average, I couldn't tell you, but 30 and 45 is what we're looking at. And given that the game took place at a minor league park, that's what we're dealing with. But the call itself, I'm pretty indifferent. My takeaway from the whole thing, though, is the amount of people that were posting screenshots of the broadcast and like circling the ball in relation to where it was in relation to the foul pole from a camera angle that's in
the
like
side
the
angle
third,
is not good.
like the third baseline, like suite
I don't know why
level.
they kept showing that one.
And people are like, it's clearly fair. I'm like, that's clearly not the angle you're supposed to be looking at it from. If anything's clear, it's that.
There was the first base side where because it landed in that tree, and it was very fair, very fair. I don't know why they kept showing that third base angle though. That does nothing. that shows nothing. I think they're probably used to being able to do that in like a stadium, because you can see when like the ball goes, like it kind of like disappears for that split second when it's
Right.
going behind the pole.
Yeah.
So like this was irrelevant because it was above the pole. Yeah, but the first base angle was like it was like it wasn't close. It was like 15, 20 feet fair. It was wild. It was wild that it didn't get overturned. It just doesn't make sense. And we were joking in fantasy because I ended up losing by like 11 or something like that this week or this past week. But at that point, it was before the night game, and who I was playing, Andrew, in the chat, and we'll just be open with it. Andrew had Chandler Simpson, who had an error turned into a hit. At this point, he was only up by like 4 points. And then I had Judge home run taken away. I was like, well, that would have been the difference, but he ended up winning by a bigger margin anyway. But still, man, it's just I don't understand. I don't understand how it's not the umpires on the field. And that Judge had a post-game interview, and he's like, it's not the umpire's fault. It's just whoever is in New York, whoever's watching.
It's not
these
even
videos,
New
I don't
York.
understand.
It's not even New York that I have an issue with at this point when these things happen. It's the willing. It's like the willful decision to not, like we're always talking about like what are some ways we can incorporate technology to enhance gameplay, enhance the speed of the game, reduce questionable calls. You're telling me that you can't stick some sort of what I would venture to say is probably a basic type of camera, some sort of like like a GoPro or something on the top of these foul poles.
Brother, I'm telling you, it's definitely possible.
I mean,
definitely possible.
I know, like, I don't know a whole lot about camera technology. I mean, I know a little bit.
If they can shove a camera in the pylons of the end zone so you can see players diving in and reaching the football over the goal line or over the pylon, like you can absolutely do it on top of a foul pole. I'm in the industry. I'm telling you can put a camera up there. It can work just fine. I don't get it.
You can put a camera in the dirt for the home run derby. I mean, I know it's like a little different, but like clearly they're not adverse to putting cameras in places that you maybe hadn't considered before. Whatever.
Stupid.
I don't know.
It's stupid. Put an angle behind. Put an angle behind the foul pole. Now this is a little bit different. I don't know. You can't put it in a tree, but like still, I don't understand why some of these are still in question. And on a separate note, we didn't have this topic either, but like, did you see the way the Dodgers Rangers game ended?
Was it similar?
I think it was on Sunday. No, I think it was Wyatt Langford trying to swipe second, slides in, and he was like a pop-up slide.
Yeah.
And like as he's standing up, he like apparently got tagged. Couldn't see it. You're just like, we've lost. I don't understand how there's this disconnect with review. I don't get it.
I mean, tennis is a great example. Like the technology they have to determine whether a ball is in or not. You're telling me we can't incorporate something like that into a ballpark?
That's what they're using for the ABS system.
Or something
ABS,
like that.
whatever.
I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know, man. It's just you can't. Yeah, the angle. Like we can figure out distance, but we can't figure out like angle left or right. We can figure angle up and down, but we can't figure angle left or right.
I mean, that
should be able to tell you.
It's crazy, dude. This StatCast data that gets pumped out there, like the StatCast could tell you if a ball nicked a feather of a bird in midair. Yeah. But you're telling me we can't figure out like what? And look, I understand. There's complaining, and then there's like throwing out ideas that seem pretty feasible and just seem rather reasonable.
Yeah.
This isn't complaining. This is just a simple, this is like it begs the question kind of thing where it's like, how do we not have this technology? Like fair or foul, come on. We can measure just about anything in baseball these days.
Throw a camera at the base of the foul pole, straight up it. in fair territory, just barely. Just put that sucker straight up. And all it's got to do is just look up. And you could see a ball going. You have it for, again, football. The uprights.
Yeah.
That's in question all the time. Every week there's a questionable, did it go over the upright or not? Like, replay needs an overhaul, and I don't know what that looks like. But I'm willing to run that committee if you want to be on it with me.
Hey, I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in. Speaking of things getting overhauled, and seeing some people calling. Wow, this is nothing new. They've been calling for it. Certain people, I'll say, calling for a safety bag at first base. And this is in relation to the Luis Arraez collision that actually led him to being carted off the field and sent to the hospital, which you never like to see. But fortunately, I saw that I think he was released. I think he's good.
It's on the 7-day IL for a concussion.
Yeah. So, well, yeah. I mean, all things considered,
that's pretty good.
He's okay. Because when you see a guy go down and just doesn't move for however long, like you're going, what happened?
Brother was out.
You see that sports science stuff all the time where when you get not, I mean, it's certainly more intense in football when those guys get their bells rung, but the brain does some pretty wild things. Like when you get rocked like that, and obviously no intent here, just a bang bang play at first, but goodness.
It's too bad. It really is. It is weird that they give that little 3 foot wide, I don't even know if it's 3 feet, in foul territory lane for runners to run in, but then you put the base in fair territory. It is a strange thing where you're like, why did we make it that way? I think the bigger base has been helpful. I think it's had its perks, but this is just that perfect angle where, again, like, no one's really doing anything wrong. As a base runner, that's kind of how you're taught, is to get into the throwing lane a little bit as legally as you can. Try to get into the throwing lane. As a second baseman, you got to square up, and sometimes that throw just kind of takes you up the line, and that's what happened. And it sucks. I don't think there's anyone at fault here. It's just, it's odd, man. It's a weird thing. I don't think I'm in for a safety base though.
Yeah, I know. I just went on that little spiel about like things that seem pretty obvious to improve the game, make the game better. It doesn't necessarily apply here. I don't know if I'm in support of the safety bag. I think, like these things happen and it sucks for sure, but like,
yeah.
Not to be that guy like, oh, it's always been this way, but like baseball literally is characterized by having 4 bags, not 5.
It's true.
That I guess that's my old head take of the day. I don't know, but just
I like it.
I think
also you have like, think about the way like a first baseman could potentially navigate that extra bag. That'd be kind of weird.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how do you can't have them separate, then you got guys stepping in the middle and you're screwed there too. So these bases clearly have to be connected. And then you have like your foul territory first base side, maybe like a drop third strike or something, and you see that first baseman kind of cross over into foul territory. Like, is he going to be able to use that extra bag? Like, it would mess with things a little too much. I'm not about it. Hope Luis Arraez is all right though, because we've seen like Anthony Rizzo, like when he collided with Tatis, he point. Like, you know what I mean? And you see guys like, who am I thinking of? Who's the outfielder that just had like a bunch of concussions and it just never seemed to like really get back to being, it's a few years ago. He's had like collisions with the wall, and you know who I'm thinking about though, right?
Now I'm curious. You got me wondering here.
just like couldn't come back. And it was mainly a concussion thing. It was like, I think Grady Sizemore dealt with it a lot in his career, didn't he?
Oh, how far back are you going?
Not that far, but like that name came to mind. I think there was some concussion stuff, and then there was like
Travis Darno.
Maybe
he's gotten at least 4.
I think there was like some like vertigo going on, and like just weird stuff, man.
I know who you're talking about. Ryan Mountcastle had vertigo.
Yeah.
Austin Meadows.
Austin
Clint
Meadows.
Frazier.
That could have been who I was thinking of, was Austin Meadows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you hope that Luis Arraez doesn't deal with like long-term issues with this stuff. Concussions are weird. I get it. Like if any of you guys are like fans of football too, and you're like, oh, they get them all the time, they're fine. It's not the same. The hand-eye coordination needed for this sport clearly needs different brain waves. No offense to football players, but
Shots fired! Shots fired!
brain cells missing in that group typically.
Got a few things here. Ohtani is officially a dad, which is horrendous news for the rest of the league.
Dad strength is not something we were needing to add to the
mix here for Ohtani. Yeah, you never, as an opponent, you never want to see the best player in the game really get like the Super Mario mushroom upgrade.
True.
For free, really.
It's great comp.
It's not like he had to really. I mean, yeah, he had to like do his part to make this happen, But like,
yeah.
I mean, just out of nowhere, like, oh yeah, here, by the way, here's your dad's strength, and go put up like a 60-70 season. I don't know.
I don't know that they were pregnant. I didn't know.
No, yeah, we did, because I'm pretty sure we talked about when MLB got their hands on this news, and it's all they posted about for like the day. And I'm like,
that was the wedding.
No. Well, that too. But when we caught wind, like, oh, Ohtani's
had a bride.
Huh?
He just like randomly had a bride. Like,
yeah,
he didn't even know he's dating anybody.
That's true. Yeah,
Next thing he's married.
And then MLB ran with it. But when Ohtani, when the news came out that his wife was expecting, MLB ran with it. And I'm like, this is kind of weird. Like, I'm excited for him, no doubt. I'm excited for them both for sure. That's an awesome chapter of life I'm sure they're about to embark on. But like, why is MLB posting their sonogram picture? I don't know if they did that, but I'm pretty sure they did. Don't quote me on that.
Are you in on this gender reveal thing that's been going around? Have you seen it?
Dude, okay. So on the surface, I'll say I think gender reveals have gotten just way out of hand. Ridiculous. And are a little over the top. But I gotta say, and I there's full transparency, I'd be a man lacking integrity if I didn't say this. But I saw Bryce Harper and his wife's post today, like their joint collaboration posts on Instagram today, and you kind of see the behind the scenes, where, assuming I'm interpreting this right, which maybe this was made public and I just didn't catch the details, but I didn't know that this is how they went about giving him the bat. But apparently Trey is in the dugout with him, holding both bats, like giving each one back and forth to him. And he finally gives him the blue one, and he looks at him like, there you go, buddy. That's and Bryce got this like big grin on his face. And they showed, hold on, was it I think it was maybe the first clip of it. They showed the clip of her seeing him come out with the bat.
Yeah, that's sick.
And I'm like, and I commented, I was like, I love this so much.
That's
like,
sick.
I mean, the freaking.
I
cannons exploding a little too much, but
Yeah.
something like that I'm down with.
I'm a fan. I always like those videos where like they try to get like the sibling involved, where it's like a balloon and they have to pop it, but then they end up like cutting the string and then the balloon just floats away. And you're like, no, like those are my favorite. But
Yeah.
I thought I saw something else where I don't remember what player, they were like doing it for like a fan. Like a fan had asked them to do the reveal, and then whoever, I honestly could have been Bryson Stott, I feel like, came out with like a wristband and it was pink. And I saw that kind of
I
stuff.
thought
and I'm
that
like,
was
that's kind of wild.
I thought that was for him too.
Was that for him? I've seen fan stuff somehow get.
Oh, for a friend's baby. You're right. Good call.
Yeah.
Love that.
So,
I can get behind this. I kind of
mean,
dig
look,
the on-field
if
thing.
you don't like it, if you're a hater, there's 0% chance that you wouldn't want one of your favorite players to do that for you and your wife.
Great point.
You know what I mean?
Case closed.
Like, would you say no to that? I would not say no to that.
I would weep tears if Bryce Harper
That's what I'm
strolled
saying,
out
bro.
to the plate with
That's
with
what
a
I'm
bat.
saying.
I would weep.
If Judge came out with freaking pink Air Force One cleats and you're just like, we're having your girl, like, what a sick way to find out. I like it. I'm here for it.
Pink beard dye from Judge,
Sure.
because that's, I guess, technically allowed now.
Sure.
Nothing's stopping him.
I don't think he can really grow one very well, but
Valid point.
yeah.
The Reds, I don't know if you, well, I'm sure you saw the blowout against the O's over the weekend, 24-2.
Yeah. Some of those dudes had like a good week.
Dude, I was going to
For that
say,
game
it was Noel V. Marte and Austin Wynns combined for 11 hits and 13 RBIs in the Reds' 24-2 win.
That's a good week.
Marte went 5 for 7 with 7 ribbies and a home run. One of these guys, I think, had a grand slam. Maybe it was Austin Wynns. I might be getting that wrong, but I'm pretty sure one of these guys had a grand slam. Austin Wynns 6 for 7, 6 RBIs and a home run. That's a week. That's
the
a week
Orioles
right
cooked, man. Like, that's rough. Let's look that up. Who's the last team that gave up 20 plus runs and won the World Series? It's a fair question, because we were all asking out with the Braves. They're like, oh, who's the last team that started 0-8 and made the playoffs? Nobody.
there.
Ask ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, they need to work on some things.
They struggle in the baseball category, don't they?
Just a lot of things, really. It's very incomplete. Okay, whether this is true, don't hold me to it. But what Google AI is telling me.
I don't trust Google AI.
Oh, pump the brakes in the chat. They hit their home runs opposition players, including Marte's grand slam. Frankly, doesn't make a difference to me.
My question remains.
Well, I just saw that and I needed to address it. Like, trust me, you don't care. You rack up the RBIs.
Yeah.
You don't care. Anyway.
Josh is bitter about his fantasy team performance this year so far. That's all that was.
Fired! Shots fired!
Love you, Josh.
So
Sorry.
Google AI in the on Google says
Sounds like googly guy when you say that.
Google AI
Googly guy.
says the New York Mets were the last team to give up 20 or more runs in a regular season game and go on to win the World Series. This was in 1986. The Mets were defeated
It's also their last World Series.
22-10 by the Atlanta Braves in a regular season game.
Been a minute.
And then it proceeds to say generative AI is experimental. So it's possible that neither of those things happened in 1986. But, well, the World Series obviously did. But the 20 more runs and it being against the Braves thing, it's possible that never happened.
According to googly guy.
According to Googly Guy.
Yeah. That'd be a way better AI name, by the way.
Googly guy.
Yeah.
Googly guy. Yeah, I can dig it. The last note I had here was we've touched on one of them. Chandler Simpson and Nick Kurtz getting the call up. Chandler Simpson, obviously, a few games under his belt already, but Nick Kurtz for the A's getting the call up today.
Yeah, for those who haven't watched Chandler Simpson run,
It's stupid.
It's different, bro.
Before I forget,
Like you're talking routine ground balls to the right side that are a problem. Potentially any ground ball to the shortstop, he's beaten out. It's crazy.
He beat out a ball. I saw it. He was playing in Durham. I saw he beat out a ball to a like a 2-3 hopper to the first baseman.
Yeah. Different,
because
bro.
it got the first baseman back on his heels and he had to like get the momentum going back and legs it out.
What was that?
He also he scored from second on a sac fly in college.
Saw that. That's wild.
But what
who
I was going to
who was that center fielder that was really fast?
that really narrows it down.
The one that was like couldn't hit but was really fast.
Oh, dude. I know exactly. Billy Hamilton. Is that who you're talking about? Yeah.
Is this a Billy Hamilton 2.0? I haven't seen Chandler Simpson hit. All I see is just the only highlights I see is him rolling over.
He can. I mean, clearly it's working. But he was hitting 301 in AAA. So he can hit for average, but brings really zero pop to the table.
Oh, whatever.
But no, what I was going to say before I forget, speaking of running, did you see the video of Pete Alonso? Please tell me you saw this. What was that?
That looks like when the skates are going out from under you on the skating rink. That was like
I didn't think that was real.
Sideways, like you're running like a cartoon character.
I didn't think that was real. I said, no, I've seen way too many deep fakes. I've seen way too much AI to know that that's not real. And sure enough, it was.
That was awful.
Pete, what are you doing, guy? What are you doing?
That I mean, it makes sense. Like it adds up.
That's Pete.
I don't think you see a lot of guys like you don't see a lot of views like that.
That's true.
Like,
that's true.
Running behind, you know?
That's true.
But those were horrendous. My hips hurt just watching. Yeah. Had to been Pete though. Like there's no one else that happens to. Pete's got some rough luck, I feel.
Yeah.
But he brings it on himself.
Yeah, it's getting to the point though where I think I'm starting to feel bad a little bit for Pete. I mean,
you think the whole world is bullying him at this moment?
It's getting bad. Like I don't condone that kind of bullying, but it's well documented how we feel about Peter Alonso, but it's getting to the point now where
that's like let's give it a speed coach maybe.
It's getting to be a little much. Yeah. Nick Kurtz for the A's. A lot of people buying stock, and for good reason. Number 4 pick in last year's draft. Should be ready to go Wednesday.
I feel like the Rays are like on the brink of all of these names just coming at you soon again.
What do the Rays have to do with this?
Well, we were talking about Chandler Simpson, and I'm kind of going back to it, but like I just feel like the Camaneros, like who are these like outfielders that they're just rolling out there? That I'm like, all of them are hitting like 300 right now, and you're just like, they're on the brink of breaking through in like a year or two. You're just gonna be like, here they are again. Here are the Rays with all these young studs. They just produce.
Was I lagging? Like we were talking about the A's, and then you just jumped in.
I was thinking the speed thing again. I got stuck on.
I was gonna say, okay, that makes sense. I was like, you just hopped in. You're like, by the way, the Rays are coming. They're gonna be a force.
I didn't even hear what prospect you were talking about after that.
Nick Kurtz.
Nick
Kurtz of the A's.
Sure. Cool.
Getting the call up.
My point remains.
Sure, but we're talking about the A's here. My Sacramento Vegas A's.
Your wild card pick.
Hence my Sacramento Vegas A's, who are only 2 games under right now. So watch out.
Playing good ball.
Watch out, Astros.
What's his name again?
Dude, Nick Kurtz with a Z.
I feel like that's one of those names you got to say pretty slow, just in case. You don't want to say that name too fast. I'm
not entirely sure where you're going with that, but I'm going to leave it at that.
Should probably leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll just go ahead and leave it at that. I'm not gonna try it.
Yeah, it's just not a name you want to say quickly.
Do it in the
keep it slow.
Okay,
keep it slow.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I did it in my head. I'm there. I see what you're doing.
Just be careful, everybody. Okay.
We're looking out for you. That's what we're doing. We don't want to get you. Don't want to get you in trouble. That's all.
That's all this is.
All right.
What do we coming back Wednesday or Thursday? What do you want to do?
You know the drill.
It's got to be Thursday.
When we do Monday, when we have to record on Mondays, because shout out Easter. Shout out Jesus.
That ain't on us. That's on Jesus.
For good reason. We had to push to Monday. Couldn't do. We were gonna take the day off Sunday to enjoy Easter. Then Monday, which is today, which is when we're recording now.
Right now,
at this moment, it pushes us to Thursday because we either go Sunday, Wednesday, or Monday, Thursday.
Understood.
But like I said, you know the drill. If we go Monday and something happens crazy Tuesday, or
we'll run it back,
or even Wednesday during the day or afternoon, some headline comes through, like some player blasts his manager and deletes a tweet, something like that. We'll have to talk about it. So it's possible we'll go Wednesday, but I guess for now we'll shoot for Thursday.
Cool. Sounds good. And I think, do I declare a stream Sunday?
Yes. Great point. No, you don't, because we're going to be out of town. Where are you going now? We're going to the beach.
Good night, man.
Shout out OBX. Did we talk about streaming this coming weekend?
This is news to me. This is the last weekend of the month, ain't it?
You're so right. Sunday. Well,
I think you're avoiding
trying to keep book.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're unfamiliar,
to learn a new skill.
That's not the case.
You have to surf when you're in OBX now. That's the rule to make up for it.
Certainly not doing that. It's Phillies at Cubs.
Would have been a good one.
Well,
no.
Hang tight. I don't know what time we'll be getting back. It's possible we can squeeze it in. I'll let you know.
I'm not gonna make you stream after a day of surfing. That's tough.
Well,
and driving back. How long is that drive?
It's like 4 hours.
It's wild.
But anyway, for a reminder,
mileage on the car like every other weekend.
Yeah, it's tough. A reminder, our plan this season, we're already a month into the season, is to do a stream. I guess like once a month, I think was our original plan. So Nate, and it'll be for a Sunday night game. Whenever we do these, there'll be Sunday night games where Nate will teach me and anybody else interested in joining along. Or you don't even have to learn. You can just come hang out and watch some Sunday night baseball with us.
True.
Where Nate is going to teach me how to keep book. And again, if you're listening or you're watching with us during those streams, you can learn as well. Or you can chime in and maybe pick up the slack that Nate
That's true. I may miss something. Yeah.
May miss something. So we'll see.
You should probably order a book though.
That's a great point. Yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll
tell you what book to get. Don't wait to order, because there's some like cheap books where you don't have like a ton going on, and then there's the nicer books that have like more space and you can fill in stuff a little bit easier. So hit me up before you pull trigger. All right.
I will do that.
Okay.
In the chat, will you guys be at All-Star Game in Atlanta? We absolutely will be.
Yes,
and I
will.
am psyched. I'm getting more excited about that by the day.
Yes, we will. We start mapping out restaurants.
It's almost May, dude. Things in July.
I know. Papa turns 32 in a few weeks.
Happy early birthday.
I don't love that. I think it hits as I'm looking at the bags under my eyes. It's hitting harder than it used to, you know? Whatever. I'm out of stuff. You out of stuff?
I'm out of stuff.
All right.
Check out our shop. We got some pod merch on there. 30take.com/shop. That's THREEOHTAKE.com/shop.
Flew through that.
I've said it like a million times.
You're really good at spelling.
Thank you. Check out the merch. And if you think of it, just throw us a sub on YouTube. Even if you don't watch us. If you got
That'd
a
be
YouTube
nice.
account, just go hit us with a sub. That's all I ask.
That'd be nice. Ask the family to do that, maybe.
It's all we ask. Just be a pal, be a friend.
That's it.
That's all I got.
Go buy some Chinook seeds. It's worth it.
Boom. Promo code THREEOTAKE, THREEOHTAKE.
You guys are great. Don't go chasing curveballs.
We love you all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.